Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Kamen Rider Calibur Jaou Reed set from the Rider Kicks figure line for Kamen Rider Saber. So this has his two forms. If you're not familiar, Calibur has the Jark Dragon and the Jaou Dragon. I don't know why they always say Jark instead of Dark. I remember in Q Ranger it was Jark Matter, but it's like, I know you're trying to say Dark, just say Dark. In any case, he has his base form, which is Jark Dragon, and then later on he gets a power-up for Jaou Dragon, and you can actually make both forms with this set, which is pretty cool. It looks like the lower half of the body is going to be the same for both, so they have like a upper half that you switch out, and then you can add the half a cape piece or not, and I guess switch out the driver as well. So you can see both forms here on this side of the box. Over here we get that kind of cool timeline, although now it's all just Saber releases because we have enough now to fill up the whole side of the box. And then over here you can see this is Jaou Dragon, and then it shows you the extra pieces to make Jark Dragon. So pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead, get everything out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here is Jaou Dragon out of the packaging, and he looks pretty good for the most part. I think they did a nice job. The head sculpt looks good. The red eyes are very cool. You have this kind of unicorn horn on the head. It's a little bent from being in the packaging, but I think over time that'll fix itself. You do have these nice shoulder pads. Now I will say there's a couple obvious spaces where they only painted the front because that's just kind of what they do for RKF. It's kind of a bummer here that the gauntlets literally just stop there at the halfway point. It would have been nice if they could have just put a little bit more gold paint here on the side. But for the most part, I think the sword looks pretty good, and that's nicely painted. Again, only on one side, but still looks pretty good. Like I said, the head sculpt I think looks pretty cool. These have just kind of hinged shoulder pads here. Articulation, pretty much what you would expect. You have a ball joint here in the head. You have a hinge and a swivel in the shoulders, and then the shoulder pad is a hinge on the arm itself so it doesn't get in the way. You have bicep swivel, 90 degrees in the elbow. The wrist can swivel, and you can actually pop the hand out and switch it with some other hands, which we'll take a look at in a moment. You have a ball joint here in the torso, which is where we're going to pop it off to switch out a little bit later on. You have a ball joint in the hip here, but you don't have a thigh swivel, but you can see you can get a pretty decent range of motion with that ball joint. So you don't have a full thigh swivel, but you have some decent movement there. And then you don't have anything in the actual waist. You just have that torso swivel and then the hip ball joint. And then you have, I would say, a little over 90 degrees in the knee there, and then a ball joint in the ankle. Now you also have this giant cape, which you can see has this piece here with this very noticeable pin. So you can flip that all the way around. It does look a little goofy from the back because it looks kind of really obviously like jutted out and hanging out here. But from the front, I actually think it looks pretty cool. I'm okay with it. I think they did a nice job. Like I said, it looks a little goofy from the back, but if you're just going to pose this guy like this, I think it's good. I think it hangs where it should. It looks natural. You don't really notice how far back it is here. So I think it works. Now for the extra pieces, we do have the other torso. Again, nice paint. I think the head sculpt here looks really nice. He's got the same articulation, so ball joint there. Got the same deal with the hinge and swivel in the shoulder, and then the shoulder pad attached there, bicep swivel. Now he doesn't have hands, so you have to use these two hands, which we'll take off. We also do have some additional hands. We have kind of a like reaching out, grasping, kind of like Darth Vader force choking hand going on there. And then you have a hand holding a book, because they pretty much all come with this. So that's pretty cool as well. And then you have this skirt piece, which he does use, which we can switch out for the little book holder piece right there. And then we do have a different driver with just the one book. You can see here he's got that kind of pop-up book open there on the belt buckle. But yeah, overall, I think Jaou Dragon looks good. Let's go ahead and start the switch out to Jark Dragon. So I'm going to go ahead, take the sword out of his hand. I'm going to pop the hands out. Sometimes it sounds terrible like you're breaking them, but I promise you're not. And then this whole torso piece is just going to pop off. Put that whole thing off to the side. Bring this new one in. Pop it right on there. Go ahead and give him the hands. Sometimes these hands are a little difficult to pop back in just because of how big they are on the end. You can see the giant like lip they have on the end there. but you can absolutely get these back in. Just sometimes takes a little effort. There we go. And then I'm going to give him the, where was that larger posing hand? I don't know why, but it feels like his wrists are, the peg holes are smaller. I don't really know why, but it does feel like it's harder to get it in than to pop them in and out of Jowl Dragon. And then you're going to go ahead and just pop this piece off, and then you're going to take this and just pop this right on here instead. Very simple. And then we're going to pop off the driver piece and pop on this driver piece instead. And there you go. That should be the end of the transformation there. And I think he looks good. He's going to have all the same articulation that we had with Jowl Dragon. He doesn't have the cape, obviously, so you won't see that. See if we can do the grabbing, posing hand. And then we have this skirt piece there. So yeah, he looks pretty good. I really like both modes. I think they did a nice job. I think it's pretty cool they did this for Arc 1 and Arc 0 in 01. And it worked out well there too. I really thought having this easy, you know, pop the torso on and off, it's really easy to do. Honestly, changing the hands around was the hardest part, just because they didn't want to pop in. But they pop in and then they move perfectly good. So yeah, I think this really works. I really do. You just kind of, you know, if you want to display both, you would have to buy two, obviously. But if you want him to kind of, you know, go through the transformation, you know, I think that's pretty neat. It's a neat way of doing it. I was going to say nice and neat at the same time. It's a nice, neat. It's a good way of doing it. I really think it's fun. I think it works. Like I said, I thought it worked great for Arc 0 and Arc 1 as well. Worked really well for that figure as well. So I'm just rambling at this point. It's a good figure. I definitely recommend picking it up. I know it came out a little while ago, and I apologize. It kind of got pushed to the bottom of the pile of my stuff, and I forgot I even had it for a minute. But I'm glad I decided to open it up. It's very cool. Highly recommend it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.